Here with another fun topic. And this topic, I'm so excited about it because it's something that I don't think I've ever heard talked about in my adult life or even ever. So I wanted to talk about positive or negative polarity depending on your level of awareness. So this is really a good topic because it will help you understand how the ego mind comes into play in defensive mechanisms around behaviors that do not serve your highest good. But if the level of self awareness is low, there will be a defensive mechanism. If there is a level of self awareness and self acceptance that is higher, it won't be as polarizing. So I'll use my own self as an example, and you might be able to apply this to um, things like addiction, behaviors that are maybe unhealthy, like sugar or alcohol or smoking or even vaping. People vape these days. Um, maybe it's just a negative behavior towards working out. Maybe it's a negative self talk. Maybe it's like me, my negative behavior would be salsa, chips and salsa. Now, since I was a little girl, that is something that I would eat into oblivion. Like I literally could drink salsa. I love it so much. And it's not good for me, by the way. It goes against my body constitution, which is one reason why I would crave it, is because it's polarizing. And sometimes our body is craves what we want. We have cravings about want based out of an imbalance, which creates polarity, right? So you're kind of getting where I'm going already with this. So when you are not as aware, so for example, let's just say I had an issue with somebody thinking I had a problem with salsa and I got mad, whereas I would announce it actually, because I knew it was like ridiculous, um, like really ridiculous. Uh, then I would get defensive and I would get mad and I'd be like, why are they saying that? You're not nice. You're calling me out on my addiction and that's not nice. Or I might even think somebody's mean or maybe even abusive if I am not owning my own stuff. So that would be the ego defense mechanism that is brought about by a behavior that's in a positive and or negative polarity. So since I have a high self-awareness in relationship to this situation, or I would even say in relationship to my relationship with salsa, because we create relationships and salsa was like my go-to good day, bad day, didn't matter what kind of day, salsa was it could make it all good. So I'm sure you have something like that in your life. That doesn't mean it's good. It means that there's a polarity created with that relationship. So when somebody has a high uh, awareness, that won't be offensive, it won't be mean. It will just be what it is, pure acceptance. When somebody has a low self awareness in relationship to whatever it is that you're talking about, and there's an ego defensive mechanism, and that will be a low self awareness. So, what do you do with this information now that you have it? Well, it's awareness. So, you can't change somebody else's self awareness, but you can start to address yours. So, like, what are your triggers? What are you in polarity about that might trigger you? So, for example, if somebody calls you out on, I don't know, something that maybe you're sensitive about, wouldn't you want to make it so you're not triggered, right? Because you know you cannot change somebody else, but you can change how you are triggered. The best way to know what triggers you is to understand what positive and negative polarities are. So you might say, so if you're in a relationship or even have good friends, like there are some friends that will just, they will trigger you, right? They will do that thing that bothers you. So then you identify, well, what are you in polarity about? Is that positive, like you have a high self-awareness around that thing, or is it a low self-awareness? So if it's a high self-awareness, it won't trigger you. If it's a low self-awareness, it will trigger you. So you want to identify what is that thing, and then you want to get more awareness around it. Like, why does it bother you? What is it? Is there shame associated? Is there guilt? Is there just simply a desire to hold on to a particular behavior for whatever reason? Why do you want to hold on to it? Are you accepting that behavior? Are you proud of that behavior? These are some, as you see, part of unraveling patterns is understanding that everything runs in patterns. And when you can start to get a handle on your own personal patterns, well, then other people's patterns don't bother you so much because they're just a reflection. They're just showing you where you can gain strength in your own inner world. So everything is a projection, everything is a pattern, and everything is your responsibility to correct. It's not the other person's behavior in any way that's going to make you feel better about yourself. Only you can do that. They can apologize, they can correct their verbiage, but still, the issue is still negative and positive polarity. Where are you in that scale? And you want to get to as far in self awareness as you possibly can to make yourself stronger, to make your relationship stronger, and live a more healthy, balanced, in harmony life. So, I hope you found this helpful and insightful. Negative and positive polarity can sometimes be polarizing. As you can imagine, people are easily polarized these days. And part of the reason is because they have not taken a lot of time to spend in self-awareness. So don't be that person. You be the one that is able to manage your triggers by becoming more self-aware. All right. Cheers to being in sync. I am Kiana Sage and I guide people to peace. Have a great weekend. Bye.